everyone. All right, just getting the stream up and running. Gonna wait 5 more minutes before I start actually doing anything, so apologize if it's a little quiet in here for a couple minutes. Feel free to chime in on the chat. I'll certainly keep the chat going in the meantime. And don't forget to introduce yourself so I know who's actually watching in the meantime. I got some very interesting destinations in mind. I found a couple of really cool places we're going to go check out, and we'll be live streaming for 3 hours today until 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Hey, Tony. Not too much. What's up with you? Thank you. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the last episode. Just another quick mention, the stream will officially start in 3 minutes. Just waiting for the official start time so that if people do want to jump on, they are not missing anything out. And in the meantime, you can enjoy the view of this very nice supernova remnant that you might recognize from the last broadcast I sent off, as a matter of fact. I'm going to do a quick systems check, make sure that all my systems are up and running here. I do use voice attack for controlling several of my functions, so you may hear me talking to Astra. Astra, can you hear me?
Affirmative. Awaiting further instructions.
All right. Astra is on the ready. External camera. Just a quick check with the people that are in here right now. If someone can tell me if the audio quality is okay, you guys can hear me clearly. Should I adjust my microphone, or is everything sounding good to you? All right, good to know. Take a quick look at the time. It is 5:59. I'm gonna give this 30 more seconds and get this show on the road. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Commander Josh Hawkins live stream exploring the Milky Way galaxy. It is 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, and we have some interesting things in store today. So, just a quick heads up as to what we'll be doing for all you guys who are already joined in here. I have a destination in mind. I'm going to pull it up on the galaxy map here in just one sec so I can show you where it is that I'm looking to go. This will be the long-distance destination with a few waypoints along the way. This is it. I found this on the galaxy map a little while back. Let me just turn off the grid. This is where we're going to be heading today. It looks like very nice supernova remnant. It's got a neutron star at its core. It's 1171 light years from my current position, so we're not going to be able to make that route calculation all in one plotting. I'm going to have to break this down into several waypoints. Could do it in two, really. I could just plot a course halfway and then do another plot course from there. But I took some time, looked through the galaxy map, and I found a few destinations along the way that we're going to go check out. So what are we going to be checking out? Let's see here. We have 2 black holes and 2 orange giants that I've located between us and that location. So I'm going to take the first destination. I'm going to plot that in here, and we're going to start making our way over. I think the first one was a black hole, if I remember correctly. Not too far from where we're currently located. Yep, black hole right there. It's only 147 light years away. So that one we'll be able to get to quickly. And I'm hoping that along the way, we'll get to see some really cool things. If there's anything that you guys want to talk about, if there's anything that you want me to look at, if you spot something while we're playing here, definitely feel free to chime in on the chat. And otherwise, I'm going to just be doing some exploration. We're going to look at some planets. We're going to look at some stars. Hopefully find some Earth-likes, maybe an ammonia world or something along the way. And then when we do get to our final destination at that planetary nebula, I'm going to try and get some really nice views from that location. As you can see on the galaxy map, this is where we are currently. The Klumoy supernova remnant, which Nash Talk, who was a participant in the past live stream, managed to find. We were at the nebula just down there, the Hypio-Prow Nebula, and he spotted this on the galaxy map, so we took a little detour up here because I'd never seen one of these ones before. And it turned out to be a pretty cool nebula, or a pretty cool supernova remnant. There was, if I remember correctly, there was an A-class star in there, and a couple of dwarf stars, and a couple of planets with some moons. We landed, I got some nice screenshots, got a little bit of video. Anyhow, we're going to get started on this trip. Make the jump.
Jumping to light speed.
If you guys notice me doing anything silly, like not paying attention to the amount of fuel that I have left, please chime in on chat. One thing I can definitely say is that live streaming and playing the game at the same time can be a little distracting. It's not quite the same as when I'm playing all by myself and actually looking at what I'm doing. I tend to be looking down at the chat very often, and I'm also looking at what people are asking and trying to think of responses, so please don't be shy. If you see me doing anything silly, point that out. If I'm looking away from my camera and I'm flying into a star, it would be very much appreciated to have those extra set of eyes. Just to give you a quick heads up as to what we'll be doing when we are exploring, I will be checking every system along the way that we jump into. However, I will not be looking at every planet. I do like to look at things that are interesting, and I do like to look at some moons that are uninteresting if they're in interesting positions, but other than that, we will just be moving along trying to get to our destinations so that we do see some really interesting things along the way. Next waypoint. Make the jump. I will also let you know that as part of the exploration that I'll be doing, I do tend to take a lot of screenshots along the way. These are going to be for my videos, of course, which I'm assuming everyone who's in here has seen the videos, since you guys are most likely all subbed to my channel. So you'll understand that it's all going to a good cause, something that you guys will be able to appreciate later on. For the time being, since there is absolutely nothing to see except for stars in the night sky and some space ahead of us, I'm not going to do any screenshots, but as we get closer to the planetary nebula, I will be doing screenshots on each jump. I'll sort of show you how that process works as well, so that you have a little bit of understanding as to what exactly I'm doing as I'm out here. I'm also going to try and break down a little bit of my thought processes as I'm exploring. So anyone who's not actually out exploring right now, you might get a better understanding as to, you know, the mindset of an explorer and how you can get out there and make some money as well. Like, this is a very good example of a system where I want to take a little bit of time and scan at least up until this planet here. They're only 87 light seconds away. These two are actually right next to each other, so that's like a 2-for-1 right there. And then these other 3 planets are all very close to the primary, so easy to scan, easy to make some quick money off of, and this is how you make money as an explorer, of course.
Fuel scooping.
I'm also going to turn my orbit lines on because it does help when you're fuel scooping.
Fuel scooping complete. Fuel scoop disengaged.
Does anyone have any questions about exploration? If you guys want to ask anything, please feel free. We have a chat for a reason. More than happy to answer some questions on exploration, or if you want to know anything about the videos. See, this is what I mean about paying attention while I'm live streaming. I'm already overshooting planets because I'm looking down at the chat, not paying attention to what I'm doing here. Let's get back around. We're just scanning off that planet. When I see a system like this, by the way, anything that's within 100 light seconds, if there's quite a few high metal content planets, I'm always going to stop and scan them. Just because they are worth a fair amount of money. And this is the only money that you make as an explorer, is through scanning, getting detailed surface scans. Normally I don't play with the orbit lines on, because I find them distracting. For fuel scooping, they are immensely valuable. They tell you when you're getting a little bit too close to a star, and they sort of give you a bit of a limit as to how close you can get while you're fuel scooping without dropping out of supercruise. Slow down.
75%.
What motivates me and others to explore? That's a great question. When I first bought Elite Dangerous, I wouldn't say I was motivated to explore. I knew that exploration was a big part of the game, but I was much more interested in the space combat and the trading aspect of it. I used to play a game a long time ago, before the internet existed, called Trade Wars. It was a game that I played on BBSs. If some of you are familiar what a BBS is, it's a bulletin board system. You dial up from your modem at home on your computer, connect to a series of modems at someone else's house or on some type of business network, and then it was a text-based game where you basically just jump system to system, kind of like what you do in Elite Dangerous as well. Once I did combat in Elite Dangerous, I did that for almost a full year. I did want to check out the rest of the galaxy. I got a little bit bored of that part of the game, to be perfectly honest, and I decided that exploration would be something really cool because I knew Elite was a huge game and I love space, so I kind of wanted to check all that out. It wasn't until I actually got out here and realized how cool space was in Elite Dangerous that I was really motivated to keep going. And for me, it's kind of like, it's like opening a pack of cards. If you've ever collected hockey or baseball or football cards, you never know what cards you're going to get, but the joy of collecting cards like that is not knowing and being surprised when you open something up and find like a really cool rookie card, or you know, like a platinum card or an all-star card or something special. Or if you buy like packs from many years ago, you know, opening up and finding that one card that's worth $300. That's kind of what I equate exploration in Elite Dangerous to. It's like collecting, and very much so. As a matter of fact, this is kind of like my collection of planets and stars. I wish that they had more tools in the game to really browse through the planets and stars that you've scanned and sort of, you know, be able to see like an overview of everything that you have done up until now. Unfortunately, they don't have that, which is a bit of a disappointment. I think exploration is something that they really need to show a little bit more love for in the development. But that's kind of my motivation, is just to keep pushing further out, see places that nobody else has seen, and hopefully come across some of these really cool astronomical objects that I've actually seen pop up in Reddit. If you follow Reddit, I remember recently someone had posted something, they called it glowing ball of awesome. It was like a gas planet with literally like fluorescent green colors just spread right across its surface, and I'd love to find something like that, you know, just be able to say, hey, look, I was the first person to find this. So that's kind of my motivation right there. Now, I think I've scanned, so here, I've gone ahead and scanned all of the planets that were within close proximity of the star. I know that's not terribly exciting for you guys, but... Or, nope, I missed one. Go back and get that one. My tool to scan for terraformable worlds. There really is no tool to scan for terraformable worlds. I'll show you a little bit here. I'm going to open the system map back up in just a second, and I'm going to show you what I use to quickly identify worlds on the system map without actually having to go out and check them out, because a lot of the planets do look very similar on the system map. Similar in that you can't really tell whether it's an Earth-like or a high metal content with an atmosphere sometimes. Slow down.
75%.
But there are ways to tell them apart on the system map, and I'll show you how that works. If we have a terraforming candidate on the system map. As soon as I finish scanning this one, observation speed.
Slowing to observation speed.
We'll take a look here. Next waypoint. Just get lined up for our jump out of the system, and I'll open up the system map here. Now, I don't know how well you'll be able to hear the sounds in this. I don't know if this one's a terraforming candidate or not. It is not. But I have the game music off. I do have all the sounds on, however, and if you can hear this clearly, when you hover over a planet, they all have sort of like a little chiming sound to it. These ice planets over here, you'll hear they have sort of like it's like a blowing wind sound. Notice that they have like a little chime and then blowing wind. When you get over these ones here, the high metal contents, they have a chime, but these ones have more of like a, I don't know, like a string sound to them. These are all going to sound basically exactly the same. Yep. Well, if you get an Earth-like or a terraforming candidate, they do have different sounds, and you do get to know the sounds quite well if you've been exploring for a long time. Make the jump.
Jumping to light speed.
So that's one tool that you can use for terraforming candidates or terraformable worlds.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
You ever go exploring, first thing you'll want to know is when you jump into hyperspace like this, always drop your throttle to 0. Because when you jump out on the other side, if you're not actually checking your map, you know, depending on how far your horse is, you could very, very easily end up flying right into a neutron star or a white dwarf. Full scan.
Fuel scooping complete.
Looks like a bunch of ice planets here. These ones are a little further out than I would like to fly out to. So, we're gonna get out of here. Next waypoint.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Make the jump.
Jumping to light speed.
And of course, never initiate your frameshift drive when you're still fuel scooping. That is a very bad idea. You'll overheat your systems very quickly.
4,
And there's nothing you can do about it. Just disengage your frameshift, get out of the star's corona, wait till your fuel scoop stops, and then re-engage. Good tips on how to get a good ship and start exploring. Well, I can tell you what makes the most money in the game. That would probably be my best advice, is how you can make some money, because getting good ships is all about making money, of course. Full scan. So making money, I started off doing combat. At the beginning stages of the game, combat didn't pay that well. I mean, it paid. Oh, look at this. Here's a water world here, by the way. You can recognize these ones fairly well. They have this sort of color. And, sorry, we'll get back to your question on how you can get a good ship. Listen to the sound the water world makes. It's subtle, but you can hear like a bubbling noise. Here, I'll just move off that one for a second. No bubbling noise. Bubbling noise. Can you guys hear that bubbling noise? I'm not sure if the audio comes through well enough that you can actually hear that. So, making money. Okay, you can't hear it. Excellent.
Fuel scooping.
Making money in the game. Like I said, combat was how I started off my career. I made a fair amount of money just
Fuel
doing
scoop disengaged.
assassination missions and you know, going out to extraction sites and just killing pirates. Pick yourself up a those kill warrant scanners so that you can make some extra money like that. And it's also a great way to raise factions at the same time, so good way to start. Especially if you're new to the game, combat's a great way to start learning all the basics of the game, you know, flying, using your ship to fight, all the essentials. I mean, you can't really play this game without knowing how to fight at all. So I would say start off with combat. Take a quick look at that water world. Nothing special there. Oh, it's got a little ice cap on the bottom. But then once you've accumulated enough money from combat, if you want to really make money, trade is kind of where it's at. I know that there's a bunch of people that are doing things. I'm not even exactly sure what it is. They call them Robigo or Robigo runs. I think that was something that started after I'd already left exploring. And I don't have a second account, so I'm not actually in the bubble in any way, shape, or form right now. External camera. But trading is a great way to make money if you can get yourself a ship that has a decent amount of cargo space. and find yourself an interesting trade route that's not too many jumps. I was just doing 1 or 2 jumps at first, and I was trading slaves. So, you know, if you don't have any problem with the ethical aspect of it, trading slaves makes a decent amount of money. That's the best way, as far as I'm concerned, to get a ship quickly. But combat nowadays does pay a lot more than it paid when I was doing it. You have these hazardous extraction sites as well. So I might suggest you just stick to combat and rank up your combat rank and make money at the same time. Next waypoint. Make the jump.
Jumping to light speed.
Hi Fusion, welcome to the channel. You're not too late. It's 6:20. Okay, considering it's 6:20, I'm gonna have to keep my scans to a minimum if we want to get to all of the waypoints that I had in mind. Because I tend to get lost in systems like this. It's hard for me to not scan planets, to be perfectly honest. Like I said, I see a planet like a water world or a bunch of high metal content planets within scannable range of the star, and I want to scan them all. Full scan. So I'm going to try to keep my scans to a minimum. Maybe I'll just scan the high value planets in the meantime so that we can make sure we do get to the destinations that I want to get to, and you guys will be able to see some cool stuff. I am also not updating my captain's log while I'm live streaming just because it's one extra thing that is going to take away from me being able to focus on the stream. Next waypoint.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scoop disengaged.
Make the jump.
Jumping to light speed.
You tried voice attack a couple days ago. Voice attack is amazing. It's definitely something that you want to play around with if you have it. I spent a long time setting it up and building in my own custom voice commands, but it is probably the best tool that you can have for Elite Dangerous. It's something that they should have built into the game. I wish they did. But since they don't, and voice attack is very cheap, I mean, I think it only costs like $5 if I remember right. $5 Canadian. Oh, look at that. See, there's a black hole right there. I guess this was our first destination. Yeah, it is. So, first destination reached. We'll talk about voice attack a little bit in just a sec. Fuel scoop, what am I using? I'll show you what I'm using. I have an A6 fuel scoop. That means I do not have to spend a lot of time scooping. I can very quickly get in and out. Let's get some video of this because I love black holes. Let's get you guys a nice close-up view of that as well. Start recording.
Okay.
40%.
Thrusters
External
40%.
camera. I'm sure you guys all love the gravitational lensing effect. I love it. Could you not? Looks awesome. You know, it's unfortunate that black holes aren't more dangerous in this game because they're supposed to be the most dangerous objects in the galaxy, in the universe, in real life, and yet in this game, the worst that happens is you drop out of supercruise if you get too close to one. It's unfortunate, but maybe that's something that they'll change a little bit later on. I guess you can't have everything realistic. It's still very cool. I didn't scan the system, so let's look and see if there's any planetary bodies here. One new astronomical object. Let's see what exactly that was. Oh, well, there we go. We got a B-class star here. very luminous blue-white stars, range in mass from 2 to 16 solar masses. This one here is 4.12 and has a solar radius of 2.6 and has an extremely long orbital period. Let's see how far away it is. And it's 351,000 light seconds, so... Oh, stop recording. Stop recording.
Preparing now.
No, that's not stop recording my live stream, that's just stopping to record my shadow play for my videos. So I am not going to fly out 351,000 light seconds, because if you've never done that before, that would probably take like 5-8 minutes, something like that. I mean, you can just go take a nap before you get there. Next waypoint. Next waypoint. Okay, Astra doesn't want to listen to me right now, so... I know. Oh, she doesn't want to listen to me because we don't have a next waypoint set, so... Well, we fly towards a star, which we're not going to continue doing for very long. I'm just going to take the next waypoint from my list here. So the next thing we're actually going to is an orange giant. We'll open that up on the galaxy map, show you where that is. This is all, of course, on the way over to a planetary nebula that is going to be our final destination for the live stream. So, here we are. I found this orange giant just along the way. This is our next waypoint. There we go. Wow, that route plotted extremely fast. I don't know why it took so long to plot the other one. That one just popped up in a second. All right, let's go. Make the jump.
Jumping to light speed.
Get chat back open here. Let me just read the chat, catch up with what I missed.
Four, three, two, one. Engage.
Ben, Herfrey, at what distance from Sol should I start bothering to even scan the systems I'm in? If I look back on my captain's log, and I start taking a look at how far it was before I actually started seeing any planets of value that had not already been discovered, I'm going to say that it was just a little over 1,200 light years, maybe even 1,500 light years away from Sol. And I kid you not, I mean, almost every single system that you're going to come across between Sol and almost 1,500 light years out is going to have anything of value already scanned and discovered by another commander. Just looking to see the size. This is a... See, you know, very deceiving. It looks like it could be very big, this planet. It's got a decent radius, but it's not a particularly heavy planet. Usually when I look at gas planets like this, I'm looking for record breakers. Mass, distance to the star. Unfortunately, we cannot tell how far it is away from the star because they don't show us the distance to these stars, but... And I don't really want to fly out 4,000 light seconds. So yeah, to answer your question, it's around 1,500 light years that you're going to want to go before you actually want to start paying attention to the stuff that you're scanning. Make the jump.
Jumping to light speed.
Yeah, no problem, Ben. Especially if you're looking for, like, Earth-likes. Well, if you're looking for Earth-likes and ammonias, or if you come across Earth-likes and ammonias, it doesn't really matter if they've been scanned before. Just keep in mind that being the first one to scan it does give you a bonus. I think it's a 50% bonus on the exploration data. But realistically, all it's doing is putting your name on it if you're the first person to get in there and sell the data. Full scan. You still want to scan them, regardless, because they are worth a fair amount of money. I can probably tell you a rough idea as to how much they're worth in just a second here. Let's see. Earth-like worlds. Oh, just go. Oh, you know what? I had this set up so I can even show you guys this. Captain's log. There we go. Can make this a little bigger. If I forget to close this window, by the way, just remind me. But Earth-like worlds, I'll just pop one in there, is worth 60,000 credits. So you always want to scan them if you find them. Water worlds are worth 10 to 30,000. Terraforming candidate water worlds are worth up to 64,000, and then ammonia worlds are worth 33,500 credits. So always scan them if you see them, obviously. But, you know, don't worry if it's a first discovery or not. Alright, I love systems like this, especially when I see that there's binary planets orbiting each other. I like to check the distance between them because when they're really close, unfortunately these ones are not, you get some really nice views. What's that? Oh, that's just a little icy moon. When I'm looking at planets like this, by the way, I'm looking at the outer radius to see how big the ring system is. This one, 369,000 kilometers, is fairly large. It's not the biggest I've seen. This one's 150. I'm also looking at the masses of these gas planets to see if they're record breakers, which these are not. And then the last thing I check is the distance between the planet and its first moon, because sometimes that will give really beautiful views. I usually do this quickly. I'm just doing it a little slower right now so you guys can get a look at the same time. But really nothing of interest there. I'm going to just scan that one planet because it's 10 light seconds away, which means I don't even have to go anywhere to scan it right as soon as I refuel my ship. So again, orbit line's on if you guys want to see what I do here. I use the orbit line as a guide. It's hard to see, but as long as you don't let that orbit line cross the middle of your screen, you will never drop out of Super Cruise. So keep your speed at around 75 or so once you've got up to your max. And you'll usually scoop before you get into any danger. You only start taking damage at higher temperatures anyhow, so easy enough. We're back up to full. I'm going to scan this little planet, 10 seconds, 10 light seconds away from the star. And then we're going to jump out of here. Observation speed. Next waypoint. Make the jump.
Jump into light speed.
Alright, check and chat. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, Fusion, as far as everyone taking the same routes, I'm pretty sure that everything around Sol has been scanned, but even everything around there, it's a very small portion of the Milky Way, and I think it was a lot less than 0.07. I want to say that it was like 0.007%. I think you're missing a zero there. Full scan. But as far as the same routes, I mean, yeah, generally people are going to the core of the galaxy. They want to go to Sagittarius A. Ooh, okay. This is an interesting system. These look like ice planets, but sometimes these ones here turn out to be water worlds. So again, listening to the sounds, that one's not a water world. Neither is that one. And that one's an ice planet. You can usually tell by the cracks in the planet. Always keep your details, your info on as well when you're looking at them, because it does tell you stuff that you don't actually see. Like this one's 4 Earth masses. Sometimes you can look at this, it could turn out to be like 40 Earth masses or 80 Earth masses, which does make it interesting. And although looking at it or flying up close isn't any more interesting than anything else, it's just cool to know that you just checked out an immense ice ball. And all of these are a little farther than I'd like to go travel, so skip out on those. Next waypoint. good habit to get into as well is just top up your fuel on almost every jump. That way you never have to worry about it.
Fuel scooping complete. Fuel
Make
scoop
the jump.
disengaged.
Jumping to light speed.
Fusion, if you were asking what that app was, I'm assuming you're talking about Captain's Log. Captain's Log, I'll just turn that back on.
4,
So Captain's
3,
Log,
2,
as you can see, well, right now it looks empty. I'll scroll up on it a little bit so you can see how I normally have everything scanned. So Captain's Log, as you can see, is a tool for recording the stars and planets in any system that you jump into, and it allows you to keep system notes, jump notes. You can record all the planets and stars within the system. Mind you, I don't record every single one. I only record the ones that I have a detailed scan on. So, for example, if you look at these, you can see down here on the bottom right, I don't know if you see my mouse or not, metal-rich world, high metal content, water world, terraformable. So you can just click on the planet types, it adds it into there. And then you click on the star types up on the top on the right-hand side there as well. You can see there was an A-class star, a T-class star, and then it puts it all into a nice little spreadsheet like this for you. The jumps themselves, like the actual system names themselves that you see on the left, these are all automatically pulled from Elite Dangerous. There's a log file that Elite has that actually puts all that data into one text file, and Captain's Log is capable of grabbing that information for you automatically, so you don't have to manually enter in each jump. Which is extremely handy, by the way. Right, what we got here? For the time being, mind you, I'm not doing my normal entries in Captain's Log, just because it does take a little bit for me to jump out, jump back in, click on the stuff, and add it all in there. It's stored automatically. Obviously, the data is in Elite, so I don't have to worry about the data being lost. Captain's Log is more so just for yourself, so you can keep a personal record of where you've gone. And for me, I just like it because, well, it makes you feel a little bit more like you actually are a captain exploring the galaxy, and you have a log of everything that you've done. The notes are probably the most important thing for me, just to be able to write down systems that I want to go to, or systems that I've identified on the galaxy map that eventually I want to go to. And, you know, especially if I take like a really nice screenshot I'm using for a video, I'll put a note in there and say, found a really cool water world. That way I can reference back and I know the system name later on. Full scan. Alright, I'm just catching up on chat here again while I have the system map open. Ben's going out for an exploration trip. Very nice. Well, Ben, I wish you the best of luck. It is a lot of fun. It can be trying at times. I'm not going to lie and say that exploration is always exciting. It's reserved for a special breed. That's for sure. You have to be able to entertain yourself. I mean, obviously for me, it wasn't just going out and exploring that makes it fun. It's the fact that I'm making a video series, so I would highly recommend that you keep some form of record of what you're doing. Next waypoint. Make the jump.
Jumping to light speed.
Get yourself a recording program. I know that there's quite a few that people use. I don't know what everyone else uses. I'm just using Shadowplay. It's part of NVIDIA's software package. And set it up on a macro so that if you see something nice, you can record it for yourself, because you know your exploration might just be jumping from one system to the next and looking at planets, but you can make a story out of it too. And you don't have to write any fancy sci-fi narratives. I mean, you don't have to do anything crazy like I'm doing. I spend 4 days a week writing this shit, making videos on it, so it kind of takes away from the gameplay. If you just want to enjoy the game, keep a log of where you're going, get some videos of it so you can look back and have like your own personal diary, and then if you really find that you're getting into it, make a video out of it. It is fun. It certainly adds something different to the game, and that's kind of like my driving factor in this. It's my motivation. 37 objects. Let's see what we got here. And it'll keep you going too when you're out there. You know, if you have a log, it sort of becomes like your personal exploration story. 10 light seconds, 16 light seconds. I'm going to scan both those planets without ever leaving the star. Checking again here. By the way, the distance between the planet and the moon that I'm looking for is a distance of less than 0.05 light seconds. So if there's a difference of less than 0.05 light seconds between that planet and that moon, I will go check it out. The only exception I might make to that is if the planet itself has a very large ring system, then you can look at slightly higher than 0.05. But believe it or not, 0.05 light seconds is still an immense distance, and that planet will be nowhere near the gas giant. You'll see it in the distance, it'll be hanging off in the sky, but that's around all you're going to see. Alright, so I'm going to just scan these planets, and while I do that, I will check chat real quickly, because the chat is piling up rather fast. Now normally, within 32 light seconds you can scan planets, but it also depends on the mass of the planet. So you can see here, I'm 5 light seconds away before it starts scanning. That's because these are tiny little planets. That's something that you can check as well. If it is a very tiny planet and it's landable, this one here, oh, look at that, see, 255 kilometers. That's going to be like a potato planet right there. So, you know what, we'll skip out on scanning the other planet. We'll actually get a close-up look at this one here. Because these potato worlds, 255 kilometers is not a big planet at all. This is going to be a tiny little potato. And often they're really cool to look at because they have just such weird shapes and like bumpy surfaces and like chunks taken out of them because they're not fully formed. They have not actually been able to round themselves out under their own gravity. I can already see there's a very flat top on it. I wonder if that's an impact crater. Oh, look at that. Flat top planet. Let's do a fly around. Start recording.
Accepted.
Oh my god. And the planet is moving extremely fast. Okay, so you know what? This is cool. Look how fast this planet is moving. I'm just going to stop my ship for a second. Look at it go. Okay, well that will be a very interesting rock to try and land on. I wanted to do a fly around of it, but that's going to be a little bit harder than I was first thinking. Let's see if we can get into orbit. Okay, it's not going too fast. I can get into orbit around it. Okay, so once we're in orbit, it seems like we're able to get a fly around of it, but it was moving pretty quick. External camera. Let's see what this planet looks like, shall we? This is why I love potato planets. My chat, by the way, on the live stream, looks like there's a lot of comments that I haven't seen because I've been focusing a little bit on the screen. Look at those impact craters. Oh my god. Okay. I may fly down onto that planet in just a second because there's some humongous impact craters that I would like to go check out. very oddly shaped. This would not even be considered a planet. If it was in our solar system, we would call this a dwarf planet. Like Pluto, which I still believe is a planet, but according to planetary scientists, or I think the guy's name was Professor Brown, Dr. Brown, destroyed Pluto, took away its planetary status. Cockpit view. Let's go land down on one of those craters over there.
Orbital flight engaged.
Orbital flight engaged. Which one of those looks deeper? Well, that one there's got a very interesting feature on it. Let's go take a look at that, shall we? Interesting basin within that impact crater. External camera. Wow. Well, you don't see impact craters this big very often, not this deep. You can only imagine what kind of impact that must have been, especially with that ridge over there. It's a very interesting view. That looks pretty steep. Cockpit view. I'll go check that out, as a matter of fact. While I fly over there, I can scroll down in the chat and see what the heck people are saying. Alright, do I have a push-to-talk button for voice attack, or does it filter everything you say except commands? Yes, Vlad, I know this is going back. I don't know how far back the chat is going, but... Oh, actually, it's not too far back. Yes, voice attack... Actually, it was a little bit further back. Sorry, I gotta scroll back up to get to that comment. Voice attack filters out everything you say except for commands. It's listening for the commands that you've programmed into it, and every command is editable as well. So like, if, let's say, for example, and this happens sometimes, let's say you've programmed a command to, let's just make one up, to jump, and you want voice attack every time you say the word jump to perform a particular type of macro or button click or keyboard click or whatever the heck it happens to be that you want it to do. But every time you say the word jump, your computer or voice attack recognizes it as hump, which it has some very funny words sometimes. It recognizes words very interestingly. Then all you'd have to do is go into the command that you created for jump and add the word hump. And then you can say jump or hump, which is a rather interesting combination. But you could say jump, you could say hump, and have multiple words programmed for the same function, which I have many commands that are programmed just like that, as a matter of fact, where I have several different words for the exact same command, because some commands you want to be more complex, and sometimes you don't remember that you put in the word if, or is, or anything along those lines. So, by the way, you see on my radar just popped up blue. That means that there's something down there. I am not going to go explore for crash or wreck sites or anything along those lines, because I just don't care to. I just want to get up to the top of this thing here for a second. I'm going to land my ship for 1 sec, try my very best to get a cool screenshot, but like how steep that is. It's not that high, 8 kilometers. I've seen much higher than that. I think I've seen 25-kilometer high mountains. But this should make for an interesting view. Deploy landing gear.
Deploying landing gear.
You can find somewhere to land the ship. stop engines.
Cutting engines, stop here.
Very interesting tip, actually. Here's something that I want to share with you guys. Hey, Nash Talk. Welcome back. Here's an interesting tip. I've noticed that, and anyone who's done planetary landings has probably noticed this as well, sometimes when you go to land, even though it says your alignment is good, you try to descend and it just doesn't want to land. It just doesn't want to make that proper connection. Even though everything's blue, your landing indicators all look good, it's just kind of a silly system. What I have found that works every single time, and this is the tip for you here, is if you're in that spot and you can't seem to connect, turn your flight assist off. If you turn flight assist off and just let the ship descend on its own, it connects every single time. So, just a little tip, something I've learned along the way. It's very easy to land your ship. I'm going to be careful because I don't want to accidentally go off the edge of this thing. It did look pretty steep, and here we go. Here's the edge. Let's go take a look, shall we? Now I'm recording and streaming, so I'm losing a few frames. Stop recording. Stop recording.
Accepted.
Okay, we'll stop the recording so that I get full frames here. I really don't want to fall into there just because of some silly lag. External camera. Wow. Well, you could probably drive a little bit further down there. I'm not looking to do any base jumping in my SRV today because, well, or any day while I'm out exploring. Right now I only have 2 SRVs at the moment. And I'm certainly not looking to sacrifice either one of them for the sake of entertainment. But I will show you how beautiful it is here. For a second there, I thought my SRV started slipping down the hill when I was in the external camera view. Here's a nice view. Anyone who just joined the channel, by the way, we are on a very small planet. It had a 255 kilometer radius or diameter, so it's a bit of a potato world, and it has 2 incredibly large impact basins. We're just at the top of one of them right now, looking down inside. The walls of this impact basin were around 8 kilometers high, and there was some type of signal being picked up on the radar, but not going to go investigate that right now because we have a few destinations in mind. There's quite a few people in the channel, so I'll just quickly give you an update as to what we're doing here. There's a planetary nebula identified roughly 1,000 light years away from where we are. That only takes around an hour to get to, and I'm going to be live streaming until 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, so we've got another 2 hours. So I have a few waypoints selected along the way. We've already seen 1 black hole. Nothing particularly interesting in that system, unfortunately. But we have 2 orange giants we're going to go take a look at, as well as 1 more black hole along the way. I'm hoping that we'll find something interesting in those systems. Cockpit view. You guys will have to bear with me for 1 second. I'm just going to take a look at the chat. See what's going on. I apologize if I'm not answering every question. The chat's going a little bit too quick for me to be able to pay attention to the game and answer all your questions, but I'm going to try and look back. Thank you, Ben. Oh, Millstone Barn, welcome to the stream. I just saw you're in here as well. Been remaking the Frontier Elite 2 intro for around a month, wasn't playing the game. Okay. Clearly everything is alright. Yes, licorice comfits. Apparently everything is alright, yes. My max jump range, Licorice Comfits, is around 29 light years. This was my first long-distance expedition. The furthest I had ever gone before this was one time I took 3 days. It was 1.5 days to get to the Orion Nebula and 1.5 days back. And I really didn't scan a whole lot along the way. I just wanted to see what a nebula looked like up close. And it really wasn't that interesting at the time. I wasn't even interested in exploration so much. I just wanted to see what a nebula looked like in Elite Dangerous. And I think I took the wrong approach, and I think a lot of people might make a mistake like this, is that when you get to a nebula, you're kind of expecting to see like this incredibly bright and beautiful and just take up your whole screen, and it's not quite so much like that. I mean, you can get some places are really, really spectacular. And you can see actually just up in the sky above us there, if you look right up there as I get up this hill, you'll see it's going to center. It's a little dark right now, but you can see the Hypeo-Proud Nebula. That's the one that I was just at. I did do a survey of it. If anyone was on while I was live streaming last week, it's very diffuse. The gas is extremely diffuse in these nebulas, so up close it's not particularly bright. The brightest places and the most beautiful things you're going to see are planetary nebula, which is what we're going to be getting to, as long as all goes well on this trip, before the end of this live stream. Planetary nebula are much smaller. They're only maybe a light year in diameter. Oh, can't get in there. My ship is blocking the way. They're only a light year or two in diameter, and so the light from the central star, especially if it's like a neutron star, ionizing the gas, and the gas is very excited from the explosion of the supernova that created it. They're very bright and extremely beautiful. The thrusters I use on my ASP, I think they were B-rated thrusters, or maybe A-rated thrusters. I'm gonna double check. I'm fairly certain they were A-rated thrusters, Justin, because I didn't want something that wouldn't be able to land on high G planets. Yes, they are A-rated thrusters. A5s, right there. I did that in preparation of being able to land on high G planets, because you need very good thrusters in order to do that. External camera. Just get one more view of this crater from outside my ship. Take a picture.
Acknowledged.
Thank you, Astra.
You're welcome.
Okay, and then let's see what else I can answer here before we take off from this planet. How much water you could fit in that basin? A fair amount. I mean, 8 kilometers deep. If you wanted, I could fly across and get the exact size, and we could do some math. It's not that hard. You know, what is it, pi times the radius or pi times the diameter to get the volume of a sphere, and then we can, you know, get the depth. It's more of a cylinder, as a matter of fact. Not really a sphere. I'm sure someone could calculate it out here if you guys wanted to take the time to do that. I don't really care to do that right now. I want to focus on exploration, and I'm spending a lot of time just sitting on this crater rim, because this is what exploration does to me sometimes. I'm just so much in awe of how incredible some of these places look. Look at that. Pretty steep, though. There you go. Okay, before we quickly take off and get another Fusion wants to math. The GPU that I'm using, I have a 780 Ti. That's what I'm using right now. Hoping, this is a crossing my fingers hoping, that I will be able to run Oculus Rift. I don't know if that's going to work with Elite Dangerous. I know that Oculus said that the 780 Ti is acceptable. It will run it, but I know that Frontier is saying you need a 980. I think they even said a 980 Ti, which I mean, okay, I get it. It's a beautiful game. It's got a lot of cool graphics, and there's a lot of rendering, but man, a 980 Ti is $1,000 for me to go out and buy, so if I can't run it on my 780, even if I have to tone down the graphics, I may have to wait a little bit longer before I could upgrade my video card. You can also see there's the other, is that the other big impact basin? I don't know if it is. Retract landing gear. There was another big impact crater right next to us here somewhere, but this potato world is so small. I mean, look around. This is the horizon on this thing. It's ridiculous. Not even a horizon. It's just like one big mountain. All this planet is, really. Make the jump.
Jump into
Friendship
light
drive
speed.
charging.
Yeah, the 980 Ti for planets is going to be...
Engage.
I mean, I see why they need a 980 Ti, because the rendering on the planet is pretty detailed, especially, and where I notice the slowdowns especially is when there is more than one planet in very close proximity to one another. I think I mentioned this in my live stream. I do see a bit of a dip in my FPS at that point. Let's go take a look one more time. There's the big impact crater we were just in, and was another one next to it. Oh, there it is. Start recording.
Acknowledged.
External camera. There's a nice big impact basin. Look at that. But I mean, I'm getting pretty good frames with the 780 Ti, and I have everything, almost everything set to ultra. The only reason why you're seeing the choppiness right now is because I am streaming and recording simultaneously. Plus, I have my stream playing in a separate window, and I'm using 2 monitors. So it is pretty demanding on my GPU. But I have a pretty good computer. I have a good CPU and a lot of memory. So I usually don't have too much trouble running it. I'm hoping that the 780 Ti is going to be able to run Oculus, because mine should be here in a couple of weeks. In fact, I just got an email from them saying that there was a bit of a delay in the shipping due to missing parts, and as a result, looks like Oculus is going to be paying for my shipping and handling. So thank you, Oculus, because that's a nice little customer service right there, you know? Pay for my shipping and handling because there's a delay. So let's say goodbye to this little potato planet. That was a nice little planet to land on. I think we got enough video of that. You guys can see some cool impact craters. We're going to move along. Next waypoint. Make the jump.
Jump into light speed.
753.6 cubic kilometer water could fit in. 30 kilometers? No, I think that one might have been...
2, 1.
Yeah, maybe it was around 30 kilometer diameter, that crater. Sorry, Licorice Comfits, I didn't see the pink star you were talking about. In fact, I just... Oh, here we are. I think this is our orange giant. Oh yes, this is definitely our orange giant. How far away from it are we? 150 light seconds. Yeah, you can see just how big this star is. Full scan. Full scan. Oh, there it goes. And it didn't do a scan because I was in the wrong window. Oh, why is my scan not going? Where are my scanners? Oh, there's my D-scan. Alright, let's try that again. No, I think... Oh, the mountain was 8 kilometers. Yes, I think you're right, Mursak. The top of that mountain was 8 kilometers, so the rim would probably be around 5 kilometers, or 6 kilometers even. Let's see what we have in this system with an orange giant. So this is an orange giant if anybody has not seen one of these before. Giants and supergiants are amazing. Wow, this is a very interesting system, and look what they're doing. Look what these assholes. Oh, 11,000 light seconds out for a water world right on the ass end of this system. So I'm going to have to fly out there because that's something I don't do, is leave water worlds untagged. But look what we got. This is probably a class 5. We have some dwarf stars. This is a beautiful system. We even have a ring planet over here that's landable. Oh, I like this system very much. And this star is an orange giant. It's K-type. 1.7 solar masses, but 37 solar radiuses. The life of the true bros. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. See you next time. Thanks for joining. So, what are we going to take a look at here? Well, first thing I'm doing is I'm looking at the distance between these planets because they're 20 light seconds away from one another. This one here, however, has a ring and a little moon that's relatively close. I mean, it's not super close, but close enough. I may go check that out. These ones here, 2030, 2060, so 30 light seconds separating them with a wide dwarf with a ring system around it. A lot of beautiful gas planets here, though. I'd love to check these all out. By the way, here's a spoiler. My next entry in the Exploring the Milky Way series is going to be on gas planets. So it's too bad that I'm not doing recording for it right now. It would be super boring for you guys for me to spend 10 minutes orbiting one planet and just taking pictures of it. But you're going to see a lot of gas planets in the next transmission. So, just letting you know. My head of all of these surveys are being used by future pioneers for galactic colonization. That's exactly what I told myself when I set off. It was kind of the story that I created for Commander Josh Hawkins, was he'd go out there and he would be looking for habitable worlds, terraforming candidates, and the likes, to bring back that information and sell, so that we can go out and colonize the stars. And I think that's a really good way for anyone who's going exploring to sort of give themselves a goal, a mission, while you're going out exploring. Like, give yourself a mission. What is your mission? Is it just to find pretty places to see, or do you have a particular goal? Commander Josh Hawkins' story is that he is collecting candidates for terraforming candidates and Earth-like worlds to report back. So I am 100% with you on that one, Turfree. Yes, it is going to be an interesting episode. You know what? We're going to see how big this is. Here's some perspective here.
Fuel scooping.
I am fuel scooping from 160 light seconds out from this star. Take a long time, though. Start recording.
Fuel scoop.
External camera. Now, this can be dangerous. Sometimes you have to sort of watch your angle, because when you're an external camera and you're flying around a star, you always want to make sure that you're at least moving a little bit away from the star, because you can't see if your ship is heating up or not. But there's a giant orange star, an orange giant. Not a super giant. I've seen much larger than this. But if there was a normal star next to this one, which unfortunately there is not, you would see perspective here. A normal star would be like the size of just one of the bright spots you can see on the surface of this star hovering next to it. It's really incredible when you see the difference. And unfortunately you can't go that close down to the surface of these things, but this is a really big star. Let's see how close we can get without burning up. Let's see how much bigger it is than the other stars. Let's try not to drop out of super cruise. I don't want to take any more damage to my ship.
Fuel scooping.
It's usually a really bad idea when you're out on a long-term expedition. I can get relatively close.
Fuel scooping complete.
You can see how much of my canopy it's taking up here, and we're still 108 light seconds away, so...
Warning, temperature critical.
Thank you. I know, temperature is critical. It's okay. It's a K-type star, it's not that hot. Let's get away so that we don't burn up. It is a very big light bulb.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Thank you, ship's computer, who doesn't actually have a name. Actually, she does, doesn't she? Her name's Verity. So, what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to scan all the planets in here, obviously, and I didn't look at the distance. That one's 771. Here's another... Oh, you know what? I didn't look at the mass of these. 968, 39, 778. Again, I'm just looking for very massive planets. I'd love to go look at that one there. I'd actually really love to go look at all of them, but I don't really care about those ones. I'm going to set my destination for that water world on the butt of this system. Kind of interesting orbit. Looks like it's a little offset from the others that are going around. And since we're going to be going that way, looks like we can scan these planets along the way. Class 4 gas giant. See you later. Gas giants, typically if they're class 2 or greater, have a reasonable amount of mass. You can usually scan them from within 1,000 light seconds. So even though they're not worth a lot of money, if you are coming up to one, or if you're in a system and you see that there are several gas giants, actually we shouldn't say gas giants, that's kind of a misnomer, gas planets. If there are several gas planets and they're all within 1,000 light seconds of the star, or any gas planets that are within 1,000 light seconds of the star, it's worthwhile just pointing your ship at them, getting the scan data, get a little bit of extra money while you're doing exploration. It only takes like 15 to 20 seconds or so per detailed scan, and you know, every little penny counts. If you're out there for a month or 2 months, or in my case a year, I'm going to be here before I head home, or before I make it home. You know, every time you scan a planet, you're making money, so it's all going to add up, and that's what you need in order to get your elite explorers rank. You need to have scanned, I think, 150 million. Anyone can correct me if I'm mistaken on that. I think it's 150 million credits worth of scan data to get elite explorer. External camera. So we're flying out to this water world. It looked like a fairly large water world too. I didn't check what the mass of it was, but while we're flying out there, we'll do a quick check. We have some time to do that. 4 Earth masses, 4.3 Earth masses, so... And of course, we're coming up on it too fast. So I was looking at the system map. I think there's enough water here to fill that crater on the little potato planet we saw before. and it's very unlikely that this is a terraforming candidate being so far out, but it is a water world, which means that because that star is so huge, its radiation is reaching out 11,000 light seconds. Look how big it is, even from 11,000 light seconds. It's still very, very large. Let's take a look. If it was Phoenix. Hey, Phoenix, how's it going, bud? Let's see if that was a terraforming candidate, now that we've got the detailed scan data on it. Argon Rich. Nope, just a regular old water world. No terraforming candidate. So, that's pretty much all I'm doing in this system. It is a very interesting system, but ideally, we have an hour and 45 minutes left to the stream. I still want to make it to the planetary nebula that I spotted, so I'm going to see how far away from that one we are. If anyone wants to see what I'm looking at, I'll just show you again. Here's my captain's log. These are the notes that I'd taken, so you can see black hole, orange giant, black hole. Our next destination is another black hole. I'm going to punch that one in just a second, but we're going to look at how far away we are from the planetary nebula. And with any luck, this planetary nebula will be undiscovered, which I'd be willing to put money on the fact that it is not undiscovered. Okay, so we're 840 light years away. We're still going to have tons of time to go check that out. So I'm going to set the next destination for this black hole. This is here. This is our next waypoint. There were not too many black holes between us and the planetary nebula. There's the planetary nebula just off above the horizon of that little black hole. So that's where we're going to be going. And I'm going to take one last look at the system map, see if there's anything else I want to scan while we're here. Don't think there was. Very nice orange giant. A couple interesting planets. But, oh yeah. This one. I think I might want to just take a quick peek at that one right there. I'm going to look very quickly at the ring systems that we have here as well. See if there's anything of particular interest. That one's got a very big ring system. This Y dwarf has an outer radius of almost 600,000 kilometers. That's very large. This one's 503,000 kilometers. These are really big ring systems. I gotta say, you don't see that many large ring systems in one planetary system. Okay, well, you know what? We might have to go take a look at a couple of these. This was one of my waypoints along the way anyhow, so I guess we're going to do some scanning of this system. Oh yeah, turn off my captain's log. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, captain's log off. Beowulf, Captain's Log is not part of the game. It's a separate add-on. Yes, it keeps all the data if you die, but you lose all your exploration data if you die in the game. So unfortunately, Captain's Log is immensely useful as a third-party tool, but it does not save your ass if you mess up while you're exploring. So. But, you know, if, let's say, you're keeping a great log of where all the cool, interesting items are, or items, astronomical bodies, or objects, and you die and you want to go back to rescan them, Captain's Log would let you do that because it facilitates being able to keep track of all of those places. And, you know, if you're doing short exploration trips, you know, only a few days out, you know, it's very easy to see where those were and then just go back again. Details. The details is really how I find everything in this game. I mean, it's what makes the game fun for me is the details. There's a lot of systems that I'll skip over. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't really care about every little thing that I see. Ice balls, you know, ice ball systems are really not interesting. Unless they're next to a planetary nebula, then yeah, sometimes you may want to go check those out as well. But otherwise, you know, if you look at the system map and you just see planets, or if you just look at them and be like, oh, there's another gas giant, that's how you actually miss out on all the cool stuff, because the cool stuff isn't just the icon, it's what's inside the system. And I look at almost every planet and moon in the system, at least the ones that I know will present interesting scenarios, and that's how I get the shots that I do. That's what makes exploration interesting. But, you know, if you guys have... Oh, good night, Fusion. Thanks for joining, and I'll be broadcasting again next Sunday. I'm going to try to make this a regular stream, so Sundays from 6 till 9. If you want to come in here and join up, I'm sure you'll see the notice again. Hope to see you then. This actually has a very interesting orbit. What was I saying? Oh gosh. See? I got sidetracked as I looked at chat. Well, Phoenix, you just missed the little potato planet that we passed before. That thing was zipping around its star. You know, I didn't even bother to take more than a couple seconds of video of it. I should have, really, just to show how fast it was moving. Once I got a little bit too close, it kept going on. Where was that? How far back was that little potato planet? I didn't actually mark it down in my captain's log, because I'm not keeping track of everything that I do right now. Someone in here want to remind me, was that the last jump that I just did that had that little potato planet? Because I might even go back again just to look at the orbital period on that potato planet. It was zipping. And since I'm here, I mean, there's no point in skipping out on these little planets that are right here. You may as well scan them. I'm coming to take a look at this star, by the way, that has a 560 some odd thousand outer radius. You can see just how large the ring system is on it. What's that? Beowulf, stand by your comment last video. But you should take notes, start putting stars. Oh, yeah. I wish they would. I think it was one jump before this one here, as a matter of fact. I may jump back there just to take another look. It was right beside the star, so it wouldn't be too hard to do that. Look at this. See, you don't see this if you look at the icons on the system map. You would, you just would never know that there's a star with, you know, a ring system that spans over 500,000 kilometers out into space. You only see that if you look at the details, and I think, yes, that's what I was saying, is the details is how you find interesting places to go and visit. A lot of people, what they do is they just honk and jump, and yeah, you can make money like that too, and you can rank up as an explorer like that as well, but you're not a true explorer if you're just honking and jumping. I'm going to try and get right up close to this ring system here, by the way, so that we can see the asteroids. Whoa! This is one of the harder things to do in the damn game. I really wish that... There we go. Speed can be a real pain in the ass. When I was mentioning the details, I actually had a thought process I'm going to share with you guys in a second here, once I get my ship leveled off properly. Don't want to crash into these rings, but I want to get an interesting view nonetheless. Okay, that's interesting. Here we go. Ah, level off. Damn you. Okay, start recording. Start recording.
Affirmative.
External camera. There's that giant star down there. This is why I love this game. Look how frickin' cool that is. That's an orange giant for anyone who just joined the stream, by the way. That orange giant is probably like what? 8,000 light seconds away, and yet it's still incredibly large. And we are flying around, I think that was a Y dwarf right over there, with a ring system that spans 500,000 kilometers out. So here's an interesting view for you guys. And while we look at this view, oh, we're coming in a bit too close to the rings, I think. I should be okay. Even if I crash into them, I'm not going to take any damage. I'm not going so fast. So what I was going to mention is that I am making an exploration guide of sorts, a tutorial video. It's kind of like a beginner's tutorial. It's really not anything super crazy. Oh,
Module malfunction.
there we go. See? Gotta be careful with your speed when you're that close to a ring system. Module malfunction. Did I just take damage? Let's see how we're doing here. Nope, my power distributor's okay, that's fine. Where is my power plant? Well, it's at 83%, and my hull didn't take any damage, so that's all good. You can get a nice view from here anyhow, so I don't mind being in the ring system, and I wasn't going that fast to take tremendous amounts of damage. So I think we're okay. I think it was just a little scarier than anything. External camera. Let's see what this looks like. We get a nice view without all the asteroids zipping past. So, what I was saying was I'm doing a basic tutorial on exploration, and one of the things that you'll see me discuss in that video, which I said is going to be out soon, but it's turned out to be probably the most complicated project I've worked on so far, just because it's highly edited. I mean, there's a lot of information I'm trying to provide in a 20-minute video. I think it's around 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes long. I'm also trying to keep it entertaining so that it will be worthwhile actually sitting down and watching it for 20 minutes. I talk about different explorer types, and I've sort of broken explorers down into 3 categories. At least it seems like there's around 3 categories of explorers. You have people that are neutron farmers. They just go out and they farm neutron stars and white dwarfs. Then you have sort of tourists, which are people that are just going out to see the sites, you know, the popular sites. And then you have the Christopher Columbuses, as I like to call them. I'm a little bit more of a Christopher Columbus myself. I'm out here because I just can't help wanting to go see what's out there. I want to see everything there is. And it's a curiosity, it's a curious nature that some people have, where you just want to know everything that's out there. You want to see it all. You want to say you've experienced it all. And there's so much out there in Elite Dangerous to see that, you know, if you skip over the system data, what's the point of scanning the system in the first place? So I scan, I check the data, I look at all the planets, I check the size of the rings, I look at the proximity to their moons. Binary planets are very interesting. If you look at binary planets, always check how close they are to one another, because if they're close, you can get some really, really interesting places to go look at. And binary stars as well. And then, of course, landable planets. Look at the type of planet it is. Look at where you are. I mean, if there's a nebula nearby, or if you're close to a planetary nebula, ice planets are really beautiful, or ice rings, because the ice reflects the color from the nebula. You get really incredible surfaces. I've been on surfaces that were like rainbow colored, look like cotton candy, blue and red, reflected all over the place. Stop recording.
Accepted.
Cockpit view. Right, I think I wanted to go check out one other thing in this system before we left. Which was this landable planet right there. Lights on.
Lights on.
Now, I will tell you that anytime I fly through a debris field or a asteroid belt or whatever these are, protoplanetary disk, it is kind of like a protoplanetary disk, I tend to keep my recording on external camera. The reason being is because some of you may have noticed this if you've spent a lot of time in asteroid belts. Sometimes, and this has happened to me quite a few times while I was doing mining in the game, an asteroid will be there and then it'll vanish. And it disappears off your screen. You don't see it anymore. However, it is still there. It is actually physically there, and you can fly your ship right into it and destroy your ship. Fortunately, when this has happened to me, it did not result in my ship destruction because I was just slowly flying through asteroid belts mining. I wasn't zipping through at any ridiculous pace. But while I'm out exploring like this, I typically tend to record as I am jumping through the belt, because if my ship explodes due to a stupid bug like that, I will bitch the hell out of Frontier. I want a new ship. I'm going to fly over to that landable planet, because it's next to another big gas giant with rings. Let's read chat while we're flying there. Got a little bit of time. Yeah, I'm using Astra Phoenix. So, I was thinking about getting Verity, just so it matches the ship's computer. But I don't really care. I kind of like having Astra. I've grown fond of her voice. .7 from a gas giant is not bad, but that's still almost 1 light second, and if you want to know the distance of 1 light second, Earth and the Moon, our Earth and Moon, of course, are roughly 1 light second distance, and if you've ever seen to scale the size of Earth and the size of the Moon and how far apart they are, you will understand how far 1 light second is. It's actually a very long distance, around 250,000 kilometers or so. It's actually a little more than that. It's like 300,000 kilometers, but I don't remember the exact distance from Earth to the Moon. Very far. So if you're at .7, then you're still quite far away from the planet. Usually, if you want to find a moon that's close to a planet, that you're going to get some really cool views from the planet's surface or from the moon's surface, get them within 0.05 light seconds or less. That's when you're going to see nice up-close views. Black hole nebula, not from your location. Oh, right, Phoenix. Yeah, you jumped to another nebula from when I saw you. I think, was it last night I saw you online? We're at that nice little red nebula, and then I think you jumped down to another one. I saw you online earlier today. I popped in for like 30 seconds. Nice view. Look at that gas planet just hovering up there. External camera. Start recording.
Accepted.
Unfortunately, it's not as close as I would like it to be, but it's still a beautiful shot nonetheless. Cockpit view. I really do want to start making my way to that planetary nebula though, because I want to have enough time to do a real scan of that system. So unfortunately, I'm not going to hang around this system too much longer. It was a very cool looking system though, I gotta say, for such a large star. From my experience, the large stars don't often have this many planets around them, so it's actually kind of cool to see this because, you know, when you get a large star like that, typically they're at the end of their life. I mean, that's a main sequence star that is burned off most of its fuel. It's starting to puff up because it's shedding off its outer layers. Eventually, this will become a planetary nebula as well as those layers on the outside loosen up a little bit more and eventually just puff out into space, and it's going to leave behind a white dwarf that'll burn for 10, 20 billion years. Something ridiculous like that. The spent core of a main sequence star. So just to quickly get another glimpse at how far away we actually are, that's 1,000 light seconds away, that giant star. So, I'm going to say goodbye to this system. I'm going to plot my next course, grab the next one on the list here, which was a black hole. We have one more orange giant we're going to see as well. Oh, here's something I'll share with you guys. This is going to be in my exploration video as well. If you're looking on the map, and you're in map view, which normally I have all these things off, but I'll turn them on for a sec. A lot of people tend to look at the map in map view like this, because they're looking for interesting stars. And the interesting stars, realistically, are just these bottom ones here. The carbon stars, the Wolf-Rayet, white dwarfs, and non-sequence stars. These are black holes and neutron stars. Obviously, looking at the map like this is kind of boring, because you don't see a whole lot unless you're in the neutron fields, about 1,000 light years up or down. But let's say, for example, you do have these on K-type. This is a K-type star. They all look the same like this. If you're looking for interesting star types, it's not just the neutron stars and the black holes. The interesting stars, you can only find them if you're on the realistic view. And the reason being is because this is where you get to see if a star is different from the rest. Now, if you look at these ones here, you're going to see they all have sort of like one little radial. It's like a cross coming out of the stars. Those are regular stars. This one here, however, if you zoom in on this one here, you could see it has 4 radials. Now, that means that this is a little different than the rest of them. Okay? If we go back to map view now, we'll see it's a brown dwarf, but that brown dwarf probably has something else there that we could probably, that's giving it this extra radials. It's bigger, it's larger, it's going to be different than all the other brown dwarfs. Then, to find giant stars, just go back here again, reset my view. Giant stars, where are we? We're over here. Giant stars show up differently. They look like this. They look like a puffed out version of a star. And again, you'll only see that on the realistic view. So while I'm going through the map, the way that I'm finding these is I'll just scroll slowly and I'll be like, okay, there's one with extra radials, but I'm not interested in that one in particular. These ones as well, protostars here, these are probably T-Tauri stars, very bright. And then once in a while you'll come across one that just looks puffier, and that's a giant star. So you can have a giant or a supergiant. They're always worthwhile checking out. Again, they're not worth anything more in terms of selling the data, but they can present very interesting systems to look at. And giant stars are impressive in their own sense. You know, they're massive, massive stars, and just very cool to look at if you've never seen one. Supergiants even more so. even more impressive, if you could put it into perspective, is when they have a planet orbiting very close to a giant star. I mean, within 200 light seconds of a giant star is close, because technically you're still almost within fuel scooping range of a giant star of that size. But landing on a planet like that that's next to a giant star, and then getting a view of the star it just blows you away. These ones here, let's see how far, I think we're only like 1,000 light seconds away. I'm going to fly over there. Just one last thing we're going to look at before we head out of here. It's 700 light seconds, I think it was, from the primary, but at 700 light seconds, well, we'll see how close we're going to be at 700 light seconds. It's not going to be that big, really. 800, 700, well, it would be big in the sky, but it's not going to be as big as if we were 200 light seconds away. You get a giant star 200 light seconds away from the surface of a planet, and when that thing rises on the horizon, you really get an appreciation for how big these stars actually are. It puts everything into perspective for you. Okay, next waypoint. Oh, did I set the waypoint? I think I might have changed the waypoint. So let's put that back in there. And copy, paste. Get our next waypoint there. Let's see how fast this one actually plots through. The last one plotted really quickly. Come on, select. There we go.
Jumping to light speed.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Fuel scoop disengaged.
Accepted. Acknowledged. Jumping to light speed.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Fuel scoop disengaged.
Jumping to light speed.
Oh my god. You know what? I have no idea how long you guys have not been able to hear me. I've been talking to myself for God knows how long now. Hi, Arbiter. Thanks for joining the channel. I forgot that I have my mic set to a keybind for spacebar, to mute and unmute it, so I must have unmuted it, or I must have muted it by accident. That was unbeknownst to me. So if you guys hear me not talking for extended periods of time, please do point it out, because I have no way of knowing if I'm not talking or not. And I've probably been talking to myself for like 5 minutes already. Man, and I had answered a whole bunch of questions. What was the last thing that I was talking about? Did I talk about patch 2.1, bookmarks and whatnot, or did you guys not hear any of that?
Fuel scooping. Fuel scoop disengaged.
Okay, so I definitely was talking to myself for about 5 minutes. That's unfortunate. Sorry about that, guys. I tried to answer a whole bunch of questions in the chat, but I was answering them to myself. So, was talking about quickly 2.1, the things I'm excited for. I'll just quickly recap what I said with my mic not being on. I'm excited for bookmarks, I'm excited for tire tracks. Bookmarks especially, really excited. You know, the things like engineers and the faces being added in to missions and whatnot, I'm excited for that too, but I'm not going to see it for another 9 months or 10 months until I get back to the bubble. So that's unfortunate. Shit, I talked about so much with my mic off. Okay, well, you know what?
4,
Moving right along.
2,
I'm not going to scroll that far back. I'm not going to scroll that far back in the chat. It's just too far up. Gotta keep pushing forward here. Tony, by all means, go ahead and add me in the game. Absolutely. I'm on regularly. I do respond to chat requests in the game. If I'm not responding, I am usually away from the keyboard. So, absolutely, you can add me in the game if you want to see where I am, or if you ever want to come and meet up. Nobody's actually come out this far to meet up with me. But that could be really cool, and anyone who does want to come meet up with me, I have some very interesting plans for things I'd love to do for my videos that would require other ships that I would like to execute at some point or another, but I will have to meet up with people in order to do that. Ooh, what do we got here? That's a water world. See, this is one of those water worlds that doesn't look like necessarily it would be a water world, but you can hear the bubbling. So, yeah, Nashtalk, go ahead and add me in the game. You're 2,000 light years out. Even if you want to do some exploration with me, you're welcome to join me. I'll be heading to Beagle Point at some point or another. So, yeah, absolutely. Alright, just doing another scan of the system here. These ones are far apart. So is that. This one we don't know. Gotta go grab that water world, and I usually scan all these high metal contents when they're this close to the star, so snag these ones all. Here you go, Turfy, added in game. And apologize if your commander names are different from your YouTube subscriber names or whatever you call those. Just remind me, tell me you saw me in a stream, or you watch my videos or something. I'm horrible with names. I apologize. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna go grab that water world. Might not grab the high metal contents because I got an hour left to the stream. Make sure we get to that planetary nebula, and if it's possible, after the planetary nebula, I have some supplemental destinations. There was a Wolf Rayet star. Looked like it was an interesting one too, because when I selected it on the galaxy map, I don't know if you guys know this, but when you select a star, like set it as a waypoint, it'll reveal if there's any other stars within that system. And this one here had something very odd pop up, something that I don't think that I've seen before. I may show that to you in just a second. I'm going to see if this water world is terraformable. No, it's not. Of course not. So, let's see. Let me just show you this real quick. Where's that Wolf-Rayet star? Okay. So here it is. You'll notice it looks like one of the giant stars. Turfree, are you leaving? Is that why you're saying cheers, or are you saying cheers because you're saying hi to me because you added me? I don't quite understand the cheers. Anyhow, this looks like it could be like a giant star. You see, it's got that puffed up look. Now, what I mean by selecting a star is when you click this button right here, select, and that little thing pops up on it. Any other stars that are within the system will appear. And although I don't want to do that right now, let's see, because I still have a few jumps. I'm going to show you that when we get down to this black hole, which is only like 4 more jumps away, it looks like. So, yeah, 4 more jumps. Next waypoint. Make the jump.
Jump into light speed.
Yep, 26,000 light years. You can do it in 26 hours. If you calculate it out like this, it's usually around 1 hour per 1,000 light years. If you're doing it like I do, which is, you know, stop, scan, look around a little bit, it's around 35 jumps per 1,000 light years. Takes around an hour. If you're just speeding through it, you can do it a heck of a lot quicker. Oh, yeah. So that's something I didn't know about British cheers. I thought cheers was sort of like hello or goodbye, you know, cheers. But I guess you could say thank you too. Okay, good to know. I'm a Canadian, so I'm not fully brushed up on the British slang. Although, if you guys have watched, you guys probably have seen this, another YouTuber, Turgeon Starstone, has his YouTube channel with some really cool videos, very funny stuff. I commented on his video the other day because he uses so much British slang in there that I just have no idea what he's saying. I mean, I can understand the context of it, but I don't know the exact meaning. He linked something for like a British slang book of some kind I should go check out. I may eventually consider doing that. Fellow Canuck. Yeah, fellow Canuck. Where are you from, Dar Galador? Nova Scotia. Very nice. My wife and I were going to go there for our honeymoon. We were going to go to Cape Breton. But we have actually changed our minds, and now we are going to go to Newfoundland, which I have to pronounce correctly because my Newfie friends get mad when I say Newfoundland. They're like, it's not Newfoundland, it's Newfoundland. So we're going to go to Newfoundland and go check out a few things there, Grossmorn and the Tablelands, because it's really beautiful over there. And I have friends from Newfoundland. Newfoundland. God, it's such a pain in the ass to say Newfoundland. Newfoundland. Why did they call it Newfoundland? Only a Newfie calls that place Newfoundland. But Nova Scotia, I definitely want to go check out. My sister lived in Halifax for like a year and a half or so, and she said it's amazing there. And my wife is actually from the Gaspé coast, so yeah, Maritimes, love the Maritimes. If anybody's observing what I'm doing right here, this is what I was saying before. When you have several gas planets that are all within 1,000 light seconds, it's very easy to scan them without wasting a whole bunch of time. You can scan them quickly, get that extra scan credit in there. The Rock. Yeah, Nova Scotia is very beautiful. The reason why we decided on Newfoundland instead of Nova Scotia is just because, like, where my wife is from actually looks so much like Nova Scotia already. I mean, it would pretty much just be like her going to her backyard if we went there. And Newfoundland just has a very different look and feel to it altogether. Next waypoint. Make the jump.
Jumping to light speed.
It just looks so different. It's got like completely different geography there. Oh, that's what you call the Rock. I was thinking. I thought maybe you were talking about like Gaspé, because Gaspé is got, what do they call that Percy rock there? Big rock. But I guess, yeah, Newfoundland is kind of like a big rock as well, right? Big ol' island right in the middle of the ocean. Full scan. Full scan. Where are you from, Turfree? Well, obviously you're from the UK, I'm guessing. England? Are you from England? Are you an Englishman? Next waypoint.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scoop
Make the jump.
disengaged.
Jumping to light speed.
I would love to visit England. That is a place that I will one day get to. Unfortunately, it's not high on my list of places to go because it's not very warm. Being a Canadian and having to deal with 6 months of winter, I tend to think of places to go travel as being places that are much warmer than Canada. So that's kind of like my first choice. But England is a place I would like to go see very much. Full scan. Next jump, black hole. Nice when it isn't raining. Yeah, well, I know the raining thing very well. I did live on the west coast of Canada for a while. I was in British Columbia for 3 years or 4 years or so, and I mean, it rains pretty much all winter long there. I think it snowed not maybe once, twice while I was out there. Next waypoint.
Fuel scooping.
Right, folks, next jump is a black hole. I'm crossing my fingers, hoping for something really interesting in that system. Unfortunately, black hole systems tend to be boring for the most part, because when a star goes supernova, it tends to wipe out most of the little planets and stuff around it. So let's hope that there's something cool to look at in this one.
Four, three, two, one. Engage.
Tony, are you saying you can't hear me now? Because I just checked, my broadcast looks like I should be audible. Microphone is still out of broadcasting. Full scan. got here? Titori. And is that a nice color for a planet? Look at that. Only 4,200 light seconds out. I'm probably going to go check that one out. It looks pink here, because even though this Titori looks white, I bet you it's like a pink color. Like actually a pink color. Let's go see this. External camera. Start recording.
Confirmed.
Always like to get a video of black holes. It's because they're so wicked looking. I do a slow flyby. That's a little too slow, but get some nice gravitational lensing effect here. Have you guys seen what happens when you get really close to a black hole? Like when you actually get into the warped space-time? That's when things get uber weird. We're not actually inside it right now. Well, maybe we are a little bit inside. Well, we're fairly close to it. Hear the black hole. Ooh. Oh yeah, there we go. Love it. I love black holes. I heart black holes. Yeah, it's really close. Cockpit view. I'm gonna get right up close in here just so you can see the warping of space. It's so freaking cool. Trippy. Well, if that doesn't make you dizzy. Alright, cool. Some black holes don't have exclusion zones. I don't know which one doesn't have exclusion zones, but honestly, I'm always a little bit nervous to check, even though I know they can't really hurt you in this game. Okay, I'm gonna fly out there. See if that planet actually does look sort of pink. Yep, see, look at that. Deceiving system map. The Titori star looks white, but you can tell that it is not white at all. It is actually reddish pink. In the name of science, I'll fly right into this black hole, spaghettify myself. Well, technically, you shouldn't heat up going next to a black hole because black holes do not radiate anything, which is why they are black. They don't radiate light, they don't radiate heat, with the exception of Hawking radiation, which is such a very minute amount of radiation that it literally takes billions and billions and billions of years to evaporate due to Hawking radiation. But that's not going to heat up your ship. So the heating up, I would imagine, is due to your thrusters. I mean, if we have to put it into sort of like a lore type view, I'm going to guess it's your thrusters trying to keep your ship from falling into the black hole that heats up your systems because they're working extra hard. Similar how they have it on higher gravity planets where your ship will heat up. Your thrusters constantly going. It could be where the Thargoids are hiding. Very possibly. But I think, again, if I remember the lore correct, the Thargoids actually live in Witch space. Witch space, which is the space when you're in hyperspace. I mean, I know I call it hyperspace, but technically they call that Witch space. So I think that's where the Thargoids are supposed to live. Like an alternate dimension of some kind. Because I don't even know what Witch space technically is. I don't think we understand Witch space fully. I think we've figured out how to travel through it, but that's all we know of Witch space. And interestingly, you notice that this T-Tauri star actually turns whiter as we get close. So it looked pink from far away, but now it looks white again. This is a proto-star. This is not an actual star. Warning, stars in Canopy are not actually stars. So T-Tauri are protostars that are in the process of forming. They're extremely bright, but they are not yet fusing deuterium at their core. I don't think, well, maybe they are. Yeah, they must be fusing. So the fusion process has started, but they're not fusing hydrogen and helium. They're just about to become stars, if I'm not mistaken. I want to go take a look at this little gas planet and see if it's glowing. Well, Turfree, that was kind of the lore behind the Thargoids in the original Elite series. The first encounters with the Thargoids, there was one version of Elite called First Encounters, I believe it was, but the one before that, which was like Elite 2, or I don't remember what exactly they called it. Oh, here's something interesting about this planet, I'll tell you in a sec. You'll probably see it already. Was that the Thargoids would pull you out of Witch space and send you across the galaxy somewhere quite far. And that's how they would end up killing you. So they would send you across the galaxy far away from inhabited space, and then they would attack you there, and apparently you could not survive an attack from a Thargoid. So look at this. This planet is definitely not fully spherical. You can see that it is somewhat oblong. Warped by its proximity, probably, to this T-Tauri star. Normally a T-Tauri star would have an incredibly large protoplanetary disk around it. And this could be tidal forces from the T-Tauri star that actually stretches the planet like this. Or it could be that the planet is rotating extremely fast. Now, we don't get to see the planet, unfortunately, because this is something that they'll be fixing with 2.1. Again, something I'll be looking forward to with 2.1 is the multiple light sources, which we do not have right now, because there's no reason that this planet should be completely dark. Yes, there's a black hole in the system, but the black hole does not give off light. But because there's a black hole, none of the other light sources give off light either, which makes absolutely no sense. That T-Tauri should be lighting up the close side of the planet. We should be able to see what color this planet actually is. Because if it looked like it did in the system map, which it probably has a similar view, external camera, then it should be sort of pinkish purple, which should be a really nice looking planet. I would love to be able to see that. If I got really close to it, we could probably see the color, because that's sort of a stupid bug, but let's see. Let's see if we can spot the color on this planet, shall we? This bulging gas planet. I'd like to be able to see the color, please. You can see just how much it's bulging when I turn the orbit lines on. Really bulging out at its equator. Yeah, multiple light sources is coming out next release. Oh, okay, Against All Fate. Well, thanks for joining in on the stream. I've got 45 minutes left here, so you know what? Maybe instead of trying to see the colors on a gas giant that clearly doesn't want to show its colors, I'll just keep jumping and see if we can't get to that planetary nebula, because I would really like to get there before the end of the stream, and I think we're relatively close. In fact, I'll probably stop scanning just so I can speed on over there, get a view of it. Can't see this one at all. That's too bad. Too bad, so sad. Alright. Next up. Oh, we had another orange giant along the way as well. So I'll plug that one in. And then we'll burn over there. $356 light years away. Where is our planetary nebula after that? Oh, who's that? Okay, well, I don't see my planetary nebula, but can't be that far. I think I changed my route by accident. No, it's still calculating. Sometimes I don't get this course plotting. You've seen the last two times, if you've been on the stream, how quickly it plotted the course. Now we're just sitting here waiting. There we go. About time. Okay, so now that we got that, let me just see how far away from this planetary nebula we are. Not too much further. Okay, so you know what? We're going to start burning our way there. In fact, I'm going to skip that orange giant. I don't think I'm going to have enough time to do that because I'm taking too much time exploring other things. So let's just set the planetary nebula as our destination. I'm going to burn through. I'm not going to be as thorough with my scans so that we can get there and actually see this little beauty. Okay, so there we go. Let's see how many jumps that is. 22 jumps. Make the jump. Make the jump.
Jumping to light speed.
We're gonna start heading over there. Dredger Clock, hey man. Yeah, I seen your comments.
3, 2,
You know, I didn't even read that comment, by the way. Dredger Clock. I've seen your comments in my videos quite a few times. Thank you, appreciate that. I love that you love my videos. Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside when people tell me that. That's really what keeps me going in the first place. Full scan. Started off as kind of a fun little project for myself, and it really picked up a fair amount, and you know, it's for you guys that I make these videos, really. Oh no, why would they do this to me? Just as I say, I'm gonna start skipping some of these planets. That's a high metal content. See, it looks like it could be a water world, it looks like it could be an Earth-like, but it's not. It lies. We can tell by the sound that it's not. But, look at these. These two water worlds orbiting each other. I've never seen that before. I'm gonna have to fly out there. That's 37,000 light seconds. It's much further than I would like to fly right now, and I just said I want to speed over to my planetary nebula. But I'm sorry, I have no choice. I can't leave those water worlds sitting there unscanned. Yes, the science. It's too tempting. I must science the hell out of those water worlds and see how close they are to each other. So, 37,000 light years. We have probably 2 or 3 minutes. Let's talk about something interesting. What can we talk about? Well, I don't want to talk about gas giants because gas giants are what we're going to be talking about in my next video. Actually, we'll scan this one if we can along the way. Screw it. I'm just gonna go for the water worlds. I have not found ringed Earth-like fireworks. That's something I am very much looking forward to finding one day. I have found ringed water worlds. One, to be exact, one ringed water world. I don't recall if it was terraformable or not. I'm going to put on my captain's log here and try to keep an eye on that, but I'm going to look at my jump notes, or my system notes. Ringed water world, right there. And it was a terraforming candidate. Just around 300 jumps back from where we are right now. Yep, ringed water world, terraforming candidate. I can probably show you guys what that looked like, as a matter of fact. Let's see. I can show you that on the galaxy map. Now, don't go stealing my discoveries, you bastards. I'll kill you. I'll kill you! I'm sharing because I like to share. There it is! Look at that. Pretty little ringed water world. Isn't that nice? Isn't that special? Now, realistically, if someone wants to go there and... Oh, wait, I guess I gotta take that out of the way. There you go. Sorry about that, guys. Now you can see my little ring water world. If someone wants to go there and steal my discovery and run back home and sell the data, I guess there's nothing I can do to stop you, but... If you like my videos and you want to support me, then don't steal my data. I'm sharing it with you because I want you guys to see that there are cool things like this out here, ringed water worlds. It was undiscovered. I will eventually be the discoverer of it. Hopefully. But, you know, who knows. Very easy that someone else could possibly come across it before I do and get back to Earth in the next 9 months to sell the data. Nothing I could do to stop them. But, despite that, I can say I was the first to find it, and you guys were all here to see it because it was undiscovered when I showed you just now. Of course, that's still like 27,000 light years from Earth, so anyone who wants to make that trip, it's a hell of a trip just for one friggin' planet to get your name on it. Just like this is a long trip to scan these two water worlds. The ancient law of dibs. Yes, that's right. The Fermi paradox? Okay, let's look up. What is the Fermi paradox? It sounds... Oh, thank you. I turned off my mic. Here I am talking about the Fermi paradox. Okay, so, just repeating myself again, Dredger Clock mentioned the Fermi paradox. Thank you, Turfy. Thank you guys for mentioning the mic was off. Yes, I hit spacebar when I was typing in Fermi paradox. And I was just describing what the Fermi paradox is, and I was talking about the Drake equation as well. So the Fermi paradox is a paradox based on something called the Drake equation. The Drake equation is an equation that calculates out the number of potential intelligent spacefaring civilizations in the galaxy. And it's based on math, you know, how many planets, how many stars, how many would be within habitable zones, how many could have supported life. You know, it's a very long equation that basically at the end of the day tells us that there should be something like 3 million civilizations just in our own Milky Way galaxy capable of space travel and flying around the stars as we see today. The Fermi paradox basically just states that of all of those civilizations, how come we don't see any of them in space? And maybe that's because they have their own prime directive, just like in Star Trek, you know? I mean, why would they want to come down here and interact with us, or even make themselves visible to us? I mean, no offense to us, but we suck. Humans suck. We just like killing each other and breaking things and destroying our environment. So why would a advanced species want to come down here and, you know, share that technology with us? Why would they even want us to know that they're out there? They're probably waiting until we're smart enough to not kill ourselves before they ever present themselves to us. And if you have spacefaring technology that allows you to travel, that allows you interstellar travel, you've clearly got warp technology or something along those lines, because you can't travel faster than the speed of light. Obviously, well, you know, if Einstein's equations are right, you can't travel faster than the speed of light because of infinite mass. So you must have a technology that allows you to travel between stars and across the galaxy. If you have that, you've probably put a cloaking technology on there that hides your ship from that, or maybe you're traveling at speeds that just don't allow us to detect you. Who knows? There's a lot of reasons why we might not see those spacefaring civilizations. I was really excited when news came out of the theorized Dyson sphere. It was we still don't know what it was or what it is, but it was like a dimming of a star that was done very sporadically, and it was dimming a fair amount of the star, and it just didn't seem consistent with a planet orbiting the star. They thought it could have been a cluster of comets or an asteroid belt of some kind, but then people were speculating that it could be a Dyson sphere, which, if you don't know what a Dyson sphere is, it's for higher class civilizations. It's the technology to be able to use all of the energy from their star, their primary star in their system, to power their civilization. So that would be a very advanced technology, a very advanced civilization. I think we are like the lowest level of civilization according to that civilization scale. Okay, so we've got the first water world scanned. Let's scan number 2. They are very close to each other. If we don't get to the planetary nebula in the next 30 minutes, at least, we will have a very cool binary water world, and we'll see if these are terraformable. Say hi to Commander Shannon Day. Commander Shannon Day? Shannon? Commander Shannon Day, your fans would like me to say hello. Want to come say hi? Commander Shannon Day is going to come and say hello. Here she is.
How's it going?
There's a bit of a delay. No, she's not sleeping. She's too nervous for Walking Dead to go to sleep right now. If you guys watch The Walking Dead, you know that we're gonna meet some bad person by the name of Negan today, and if you've ever followed the comics, you'll know that Negan is a type of guy that you really don't want to meet, and he's gonna do some bad stuff in the game. So here's Shannon Day.
Hi, people. How's space?
Their chat is down here, by the way. So now I'm looking at the chat. I should be looking at these planets, because we just found a pair of binary water planets. Oh, hey, you know what? See, this is the type of stuff I gotta get video for, so unfortunately you guys will have to just bear with me as I get some video of these binaries. They're gonna alter the events from the comics, but Look, I don't want to give spoilers for people that enjoy the show. What is there, 22 people in here right now? I'm sure there's some Walking Dead fans. Start recording.
Accepted.
External camera. I don't think the person who they kill off in the comics is going to die in the show. I will speculate. I'm going to speculate. I think that Maggie is going to die, but not from Negan. Yes, from her unborn zombie fetus. Ugh. That's... I don't know, I think that would be a very interesting twist on the storyline. The unborn zombie fetus. Well, she was having some pains the other day, so... I don't know, she might have a zombie baby. They did hint at that when... They hinted that, well, they didn't hint at it in this episode, but they hinted at it with Rick's baby. External camera. Well, not Rick's baby, Shane's baby. It's probably Shane's baby. Well, we don't know. Look at these binary water worlds, so pretty. Zombaby. Yeah, Windy is Zombaby. So I think Maggie is gonna die. And there's been talk that the guy who plays Daryl doesn't want to be in the show anymore, so Daryl might die, possibly. Shannon was telling me that Andrew Lincoln had made a Twitter post recently. He posted something. She saw it on Facebook. Saying...
got so sick from reading the script.
Yeah, he read the script and he was very upset by what he read. He was so sick that he couldn't go to sleep that day. Okay, I'm doing a horrible job at capturing video of these twin water worlds, by the way. This is something that I would definitely have in a new video. Okay, I gotta focus on what I'm doing here. Commander Shannon Day, thanks for joining us.
I've been kicked out.
I'm officially kicking her out of the spaceship.
Going back to my
Yeah.
escape pod.
Go
Bye,
back.
people.
Go back to your escape pod. Alright, she's going back into cryosleep because I can't talk and read chat and get video at the same time. I am the worst multitasker ever in the galaxy. External camera. External camera? I really just want to get video of these planets and then bring you guys to a planetary nebula. And I'm getting video, but it's just not the nice video. It's not the beautiful video that I normally get. Yes, when I say start, I can't say it because it'll actually stop the recording from happening. But when I say start, pause, recording, it opens an external program. I'm using voice attack for a macro. Okay, so you know what? I'm doing a horrible, shitty job at recording video of these binary water worlds, and I've been flying around them. So, F that. I can swear on YouTube. I'm pretty sure you're allowed to swear on YouTube, right? I mean, like, I don't have to, like, censor everything that I say. This is the type of stuff that I would normally get. Start recording.
Accepted.
External camera. I like to get close-ups of these water worlds. How am I going to do that? I'm reading chat and talking to you guys. That's got a hell of an Arctic or a ice shelf there, a polar cap. Bet you that's a cold planet. Alright, you know what? Let's do some science. Let's look at these planets and see what we actually got here. Let's go put myself into orbit around one, shall we? Hello, Waterworld. What you doing? External camera. Ah, there it is. There it is. Quick, before it gets occluded by the planet. Move out of the way, camera. There we go. That's kind of cool.
Activating silent running.
Oh, Astra. She heard me say cool. I didn't want you to activate silent running. Why would you do that? Cockpit view. Hi, I can't even pronounce your name. Sorry, buddy. Gyarados, there we go. Science time with Commander Josh Hawkins. Dredger Clock, you want to fly out here and attack me for plot purposes of my storyline? I would love to have someone come fly out here and not necessarily just attack me, because I think if you just attacked me, that would be a really bad idea, because I would definitely fight back. If I knew it was you and you wanted to script something in there, that's a very good possibility of something that I would really like to have in one of my videos, and it's something that I have been actually considering for a future plot point. So yeah, if you want to come out 28,000 light years and script and film an attack sequence, that could be really cool, actually. So I wanted to science these planets, so let's look at these water worlds, see what we got going on here. You guys are so distracting, gosh. Can't you just let me do some science? Terrestrial water world, active water-based chemistry, carbon-based water life. Neither one of them is a terraforming candidate. Now, I do have to put this into my captain's log, even though I have been keeping horrible track of everything since we've been live streaming. I'm going to put in 2 water worlds. I'm going to put in the system notes. Oh, you know what? You guys can see this. Captain's log, there we go. System notes. Nothing special. 2 water worlds in binary, and that's all I'm putting. As far as science goes, no volcanism. They're just water worlds, not even water geysers or ice geysers. Mostly carbon dioxide atmospheres. 67% rock, 32% metal. They have the exact same composition. I mean, literally 67.2% rock, 32.8% metal. Exact same composition. They're both roughly the same size, 3,700 kilometer radius. They're very small. I mean, with that radius, look at that, 0.2 Earth masses each. And 287, 295 Kelvin. So, what's that work out to be? 295 Kelvin? That's 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Or 21 degrees Celsius. Nice West Coast summer day on that planet. You guys can hear me? Yeah, my mic is on. Okay, I just got to make sure anytime I hit space. They are both tidally locked as well. I don't know if that means that they're tidally locked to each other or if they're tidally locked to their star. But, yeah, pretty cool. Haven't seen 2 water worlds in binary like that, so interesting to see new things. Captain's log automatically adds the jump data, then you manually add in the astronomical objects. So, moving right along. Thank you for that. We're going to keep motoring here. Make the jump.
Jumping to light speed.
This is what happens when you have no destination locked, and you tell your ship's computer to make a jump for you. Next waypoint. Let's try that again. Make the jump. Terra firma. Very nice.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Dregger, you probably saw my last video, I'm assuming. Full scan. If you did, you would know that I am fully armed, capable of all kinds of combat in this ship. It is an exploration vessel, of course, but it is a fully armed exploration vessel. Okay, so you know what? I gotta stop doing this. I want to look at every system map and scan, but I have, like, technically 20 minutes to go 20 jumps. So you know what? I've never done this before, and I hate to do this. But
Fuel skipping.
I might just burn it to that planetary nebula. Next waypoint. Next waypoint.
Fuel skip disengaged.
Make the jump.
Jump into light speed.
My ship does have a name. My ship is the A.M. Earhart, after Amelia Earhart.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Mind you, I don't want to be lost in space, but that's kind of how it feels when you're exploring. You do feel a little lost sometimes. The Erebus, that's a good name for a ship. My wife, well, not my wife, Commander Shannon Day, my wife doesn't actually play the game. Very sad. I want her to really badly. It would make me very happy if she did. But her character, her fictional character, oh my god, I'm never going to get to this planetary nebula, guys. Look at this. Like, are you kidding me? Okay, those aren't water worlds, interestingly enough. That one is. Those are high metal content. Well, you know what? If we don't make it to the planetary nebula, which is seeming to be more than likely when I find systems like this, you'll definitely see the planetary nebula in my next video.
Fuel skipping.
Possibly, maybe. It might be in the next video. I already have a narrative written out for my next video, and it's actually on gas planets. But,
Fuel skip disengaged.
yeah, you know what, it might be in the video after that, so. But the good news, this is very good news, is that my next part in the series will be soon. And by soon, I mean not a week apart like the last ones have been. I'm hoping to have this one out probably by Wednesday. It's just going to depend on if I can get enough time the next couple of days to just log in and grab some video footage of a few gas planets that I need to put the video together. But I already have the narrative written for it because I actually had the narrative written before I wrote the narrative for the one I just released, so that was kind of convenient. So that one should be out soon, and then the next one after that will probably just be in a week and a half. So you should have 2 new parts popping up in the next week and a half, so stay tuned. And we're going to have a lot of science in the next one. We'll be talking about gas planets. It's going to be a really cool episode. Kind of going back to the first few episodes that I made, which were mostly science data. Now that Commander Shannon Day's story is somewhat wrapped up. I mean, it's not finished. It's not over. There's going to be more to it. But we're going to do some science in the next one for sure. Dregger, not Dredger, Dregger, gotcha, Dregger clock. It's true though, it does kind of look at first glance like it's Dredger clock. My apologies. I hope I have not offended you with my mispronunciation of your name. Dregger clock. I'll get it right. Promise. Gagarin. What would the significance of Gagarin be, if you don't mind me asking, Turfree? All these water worlds are non-terraformable. That's unfortunate. Next waypoint. Make the jump.
Jumping to light speed.
Yuri Gagarin, first man in space. You know what? Shame on me for not knowing that. I feel very stupid right now.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Although, historically and traditionally, your ship would have a woman's name, of course. But, of course, you can do whatever you'd like with your ship. You can have a man's name if you'd like. But nobody's going to criticize or judge. Judging, that's such a stupid name. No, I'm kidding. I think that's actually a really cool name.
Fuel scooping.
I like names that honor people who have done fantastic things with their lives.
Fuel scooping complete.
Watch, I can open up the system map. It's going to be 15 water planets and 10 Earth-likes. Come on. Nope. Just a couple of giant snowballs. You know, these live streams are really kicking me in the ass because, God, I just want to go look at all of these. But I also want to show you guys really cool stuff. I mean, granted, it is kind of cool. Wow. Massive gas planet there, by the way. Look at that. 3,655 Earth masses. That looks like a Class 5 gas planet as well. 2,300. 85, 96, 460. Oh, see, I gotta go check that out. That planet is also very cool. Oh darn. Drats. Didn't realize I was flying so far away while I was on the system map. That means I don't get to scan those other planets. You are at the Great Annihilator right now. Congratulations, Tony. That is a heck of an accomplishment to make it out there. How long did it take you? Did you do it quickly, or did you do it slowly? Slow down.
75%.
6 days. Wow. I don't even know how you did that. You must have been just like speed jumping that whole way. By the way, the reason why I came out to this planet, and let's see here, actually we'll turn on the orbit lines. The reason why is because this planet had an enormous ring system, and it looks like one of them. Oh yes. I think we might be in for a treat. Let's turn those orbit lines off again. You guys see it, I see it. See that little moon? Right on the edge there? Alright, we're gonna get some video here, because these are rare, and I love looking at them. Start recording.
Okay, executing now.
external camera. Where did that little moon go? Cockpit view. Well, I kind of messed up my trajectory there, but there she is. Ooh, I don't know. That might even be within the ring system. Either way, that looks like a little shepherd moon to me. External camera. Oh yeah, look at that. Cockpit view. Yeah, that's a nice find. Thanks, Tony. You know, really the thanks goes out to you, though. It's you guys that inspire me to make the videos. I've said this many times before, the feedback that I get from you guys is really what keeps me going with this. And I love that people enjoy space, and I want to share space and space exploration with everyone. Look at that. External camera. Cockpit view. So, let's see what interesting views we can get of this. One thing that is always interesting when the moons are this close to the ring system is to go fly down into the ring system. Stop recording.
Preparing now.
Apologize if I get a little quiet here. I'm going to try and focus on getting a few really cool shots that all of you guys, I'm sure, will appreciate when you watch the videos when they come out. Not too close. What the heck am I dropping too close to? Okay. That's a little odd. Apparently I'm dropping too close to the ring systems, although I don't seem to be anywhere near rings. If I have to fly all the way down there, I imagine that's going to take me a very long time. Huh. Okay. Not quite sure what happened there. The moon is right there beside me. So weird. Make the jump.
Jumping to light
Right
speed.
charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Let's see if I can get away from those rings. I wanted to go into the rings and look at the moon from inside the rings, but apparently I was too close to the rings, even though I was nowhere near close to the rings. It's a little odd. This is where having an Oculus is going to be amazing, because I won't have to use my hat switch in order to do this. Okay, let's try that again. Let's see if we can get into that ring system. Very bizarre. Will do. Fly a little bit closer to the big planet first. See saying impact warning. I don't know why. I guess it's just a bug because the planet's so close to the rings. It's sort of like wigging out on me here. Shouldn't be though. Alright, we'll just do this slowly because I don't want to damage my ship. It's really not worth damaging anything just to get some screenshots. Well, sometimes it is, but it's going to come in here nice and slow. 10%.
Slowing to observation speed.
20%.
Thrusters 20%.
Oh, look at that. You can see the moon's actually going pretty quick, too. I'm gonna aim right at it. Yeah, it's got a pretty fast orbit. It's not. It didn't look like it was intersecting the rings, but it's right near them. 30%.
Thrusters 30%.
That's still not fast enough. 40%. 50%.
Understood. 50%.
I think just because it's so close, something's glitching out, like maybe the gravitational influence of the planet and the ring systems are getting a little buggy. I could probably just go in right here, though. I'm going to be watching that moon fly past us anyhow. Too bad this is not a very dense asteroid belt or ring system, but it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, I've seen those glitched out ring systems as well. I don't necessarily want to get up and whoa! I just looked up and I think I missed something. Did that planet literally just skip right across the screen? It looked like it skipped across the screen. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking down at my other screen. Oh, yeah, look at that. What in the hell is going on? Planet's jumping. Start recording.
Acknowledged.
See if we can record that. Oh, yeah. Jumping moon. Wow, isn't that weird? I told you it's got a fast orbit, but it's a teleporting moon. Well, that kind of sucks. I was hoping to have it in the frame, but at the speed that it's jumping across the screen like that. Space madness. Yes, it. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, it's sort of glitched out, huh? Oh well. Only mildly immersion breaking. I mean, sure, moons can move like that in real life, right? External camera. Let's see if I can get a shot of it before it glitches too far away from me. Really don't want it to glitch out in the video. Alright, there. I got it just for a second. That's all I needed. What I'd like to do is go land on it. Cockpit view. Stop recording.
As you wish.
Make the jump. Oh no, I can't.
Jumping
make the
to
jump.
light speed.
I am mass locked. Now I can. Make the jump. Make the jump.
Jumping to light
drive
speed.
charging.
Yeah, I've noticed that Nash Talk, they sort of jump a little funny like that.
2, 1, engage.
Well, fortunately, we did not make it to the nebula that I was hoping to bring you guys to. But get to see a shepherd moon, which is cool in itself, even though it's got a big old graphical glitch up on the top there. Man, this planet is bugged out. Too bad. It's very immersion breaking when you get these bugged out planets like this.
Orbital flight engaged.
Yeah, square hole, alright. It's just, it's a shader problem. It's happened to me in many cases. I don't know why. I've seen this happen in so many places before. It's just like the lighting is not on that one square for some reason. It does exist, and you can see like the top of the mountain poking out the middle of it. It's like, once it's below a certain horizon, it just doesn't show up. Could be texture, it could be lighting, I don't know exactly what it is. Farcroids. Okay, well, you know what? I'm looking at the time. It's already past 9 o'clock. Commander Shannon Day is going to wake up from her cryosleep and come up here and smack me over the head and tell me we got to watch Walking Dead. So I think, considering that we're really nowhere near that planetary nebula, there's no way I'm going to get there in 1 minute or less. And this planet is pretty buggy, so I don't want to just land down there and get all messed up. I'm probably going to log in and explore it a little bit more, get some video of it for my next broadcast, but for now I'm just going to get out into space here, and I think I am going to call it a night and end this broadcast facing this moon. I'm just going to get some distance so you guys can see how fast it's actually moving, because it really is moving quite quickly. And then we'll end the broadcast. So, let's see, whip around here. See, Commander Shannon Day's already back here. She's giving me a stern looking. She's like, you've spent your 3 hours live streaming, Commander Josh Hawkins. She doesn't want to upset the fans, but trust me, fans, when I say it's better to have upset fans than an upset wife. As many of you probably know. So here, let's just see how quickly this planet is moving. Alright. Now it's not moving at all. Oh yeah, it is. Oh no, it's not. It's supposed to be moving in the other direction, isn't it? Did the planet change direction? This little moon. Well, yeah, look at that. I think it's going the wrong way now. Unless I somehow flipped over and didn't realize it. I thought it was going the other way. That is a very fast rotating moon. Okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to scan that moon. We're going to look at the details of that moon first. Science it. Then we're going to go. She's still smiling, so that's a good thing. If the smile disappears, so will the broadcast.
I'll let you scan that.
She's letting me scan the moon. Alright, thank you, Commander Shannon Day. She's the real commander of my ship. Alright, what do we got here? Rocky body. Rocky world with little or no surface metal contents. World like this have lost all their volatiles due to past heating, and any metallic content will form a small central core. Very small, 861 kilometer radius, 0.1 gravity, 342 surface temperature. Well, it's silicate vapor geysers. Mostly rock. And 0.8 day orbital period. So it's orbiting pretty quick. I mean, 1 day it takes to go around that planet, but that planet has 2 rings, and its outer radius is 460,000 kilometers. So You guys want to do some math on that? Figure that's moving pretty quick. Yeah. Hey, don't criticize my math skills. I have no calculator open right now. Start working out calculations of pi to see what the full diameter. We can work out the diameter based on the radius. 460,000 kilometer radius. That the rings. Figure out what the diameter of the circumference of the circle is.
You're welcome for borrowing Tom. He has a fixed schedule.
Yeah, I have a fixed schedule, but you guys can definitely borrow me. Alright, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. Again, this time next Sunday from 6 till 9, this is going to be, for now, my regularly broadcasted schedule. I have a nod of approval on that one.
Follow
So
me on Twitter.
you can follow Commander Shannon Day on Twitter. Little Lady Nerd is her Twitter handle if you want to send her some fan mail. She loves that too. She's done some great acting, voice acting for the videos. She's really been a big part of it. So it's going to be hard to write her out of it eventually, but but let me tell you.
I'm gonna be bigger than ever.
Yeah, no spoilers, Shannon. No spoilers. Not going to give any spoilers. Just going to say she still has parts to come. And obviously, if you guys have not followed me on Twitter, please go ahead and feel free to do that too. Commander Josh Hawkins on Twitter. You're very welcome for the stream. It's been great having you guys all on here. Thanks for watching, and this is Commander Josh Hawkins signing off.